Gang, gang. What up? What you into? One person on the internet? On the laptop scrolling. What up? I'm on my laptop, eh? What up, gang? Trying to get this. What up, everybody? So listen to a little AI speech here. What y'all into? Troll me or something? Tell me how my face looks like the desk of a seventh grader. What up, baseball person? What you into? What up, everybody? Like, share, subscribe. I know I look like a weirdo. Got a little art wall in the background. Trying to get this stupid security thing to get off my laptop right now. World peace, absolutely, I agree with that. Are we referring to anything about the Iran-Israel situation? Because I would definitely love to delve into that. Not necessarily love to, but I, have a few opinions here and there. What, check it out. If anybody wants to buy some paintings, I'm definitely willing to ship these bad boys out for world peace and to start a compound, buy some land, get some animals, and start growing our own crops. This one reminds me of like some static electricity almost. Anybody fix my laptop for me? That'd be fire. This reminds me of like a little campfire, almost like some Dragon Ball Z action, A little bag of Cheetos. This is for my cousin. Reminds me of a bag of Cheetos. I feel like it might go that way, yeah. This one's dope. One of my older ones. What do you guys got going on other than world peace? I like this one a lot. This feels like a little spring vibe, This one's like the local high school or whatever. Pretty still. Like, share, subscribe. hell, hit the Cash App in the description. You already know. We're trying to up the channel, do some golf videos, do some more cooking videos, little workout action. Just definitely some hiking videos. There's nice scenery here, you know. What is cracking this evening, people? Troll your boy or something. What do you guys got going on this evening? I definitely just fogged up, and I am trying to get this stupid security update off of my computer, and it's not happening. What's cracking, everybody? Like, share, subscribe. Let's get this channel popping so we can get out on the golf course and throw some golf videos. What do you guys got going on this evening? Troll me or something. Look how, I mean, look how I look. At least get a troll in there or something. Let's get some interaction so I have something to respond to at least. What do you guys got going on this evening? God, my laptop's pissing me off.
Precisely because of this, however, it was possible to introduce in these countries the system known as democracy. Precisely in these countries.
What are you guys up to on a Tuesday evening? Where are you guys from? Where are you at? What are you doing? You think Trump is doing a good job? In regards to what? I mean, I think he's just kind of following orders when you really look at I'm not a huge, political individual, but I am a analytical individual with a little bit of the touch of the tism. Yeah, this is pretty much my first live stream, Mercedes, pretty much. Hey, what up, Diego? Hello, sir. But yeah, he's doing the best he can do. I guess that's what I'll go with. Hey, Diego Bear, what you up to? And this is pretty much my first live stream, Mercedes. Show some love. I only have like 50 subs, so I just really. You think OJ did it? Yeah, for sure, OJ did it. Happy birthday, bro. It's not my birthday, but I appreciate it. If you hit my Cash App, that'd be a fire birthday. Definitely just quit the job like weeks ago, so we're trying to get this popping, get on the golf course, and drop all different types of videos. Do a little live streaming too, and start. We're not going for look maxing. I look maxed at about a 6, but we're going for knowledge maxing and Heyoka maxing. I'm working on my 50 subs so I can finally go live. Yeah, sub for me, and I'll hit you with the sub back. Most defo. Mercedes for rail. Let's see if I can try to do it while we're on here. I don't think I'm able to. Subscribe. It won't let me sub off of here, but that's weird. I would like to try to sub back to your channel if you holla back. User channel activity. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, heck yeah, dude. The best way to try to do it is to just drop a few shorts and then just like a 15 second video. Really what I need to do is get my watch time hours. Did we land on the moon? Yeah. I mean, I in 2026 there's places where I'm at. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it, Braxton. Dude, I'll hit you back too with the sub. Everybody that subs, definitely I'll try to hit them back, especially if it shows up. Did we land on the moon in the 60s? I don't know. How do I not get service in 2026, but somehow Nixon's talking on the landline in the Oval Office? You can say it was over the radio waves, but there's just a lot of skepticism behind that. Heck yeah, dude. What do you what does Google say about did we land on the moon? Google it. Did we land on the moon? Yeah, I mean, according to the internet, we landed on the moon, so I'm gonna go with yes. But definitely like, share, subscribe, so we can get this channel going. And what I'm eventually gonna do is buy a bunch of land, and everyone's welcome to come through and contribute. So add a Q&A sticker. What? Someone come up with a question so I can add a Q&A sticker of something ridiculous. I mean, I definitely have a mind of my own, but I definitely like suggestions that I can, bounce things off of. Let's see.
The army with a huge, wonderfully well-coordinated officer corps. The body of civil servants with its enormous...
I'll come plant some tomatoes. Hell yeah, bro, for sure. Definitely going to be doing a lot of gardening, and I already have ideas for how to set up the dwellings and just everything along those lines. So it's gonna be pretty sick once it gets going. And it's not hard when people have like total faith in an individual to be able to um, understand that, like, if we got 100, 200 people on each plot of land, if someone's down, someone's sick, we're fine. It's not like you got to worry about calling into work or nothing like that. You're gonna come home, have a fridge full of meat and vegetable basket full of vegetables, all the types of juices and different drinks that you want, different fruits and vegetables that we grow. So it's gonna be pretty fire. We're gonna be rocking it pretty hard on the compound once it comes up. Really, that's all you got to do is kind of like lead by example. So you open up the compound, and then you're able to kind of go from there and have others, take onto that and start their own compounds, come take notes, and then kind of just start your own little revolution from there. Who would win a fight, a polar bear or a gorilla? Oof. I don't know if you've watched Forrest. Dude, what is it Forrest Gallant? I can't remember now. The biologist that's on Joe Rogan's shit sometimes. They talked about a grizzly, I think a polar bear or a grizzly bear, against a gorilla, and it's a good one. A grizzly bear can take a lot of punishment. I think a polar bear would probably win. I know I said grizzly bear. Yes, I know you said polar. Yeah, polar bear for sure, Mercedes. It's definitely got to be the bear. I think the bear can take a little more punishment, and if once it locks its claws into that gorilla, it's gonna be a rough fight. But it would be a good little. I really wouldn't want to watch it, but it would be definitely a cool little thing if it's somehow precipitated. I mean, there's no way for a gorilla and a polar bear. Maybe a zoo incident, but that wouldn't be necessarily a natural, habituated polar bear. So who knows about the strength levels and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a good little fun little question. Yeah. But I was actually, just in regards to that, I was actually used to be a kill man at a slaughterhouse. Used to be I can stop working there in 2024. So for 2 years was the sole kill man at a slaughterhouse. So I had to dispatch animals, everything from like mainly beef, but there was also pork, lamb, there was a goat, and then dispatch them, bleed them out, skin them, gut them. Putin versus Hitler in their primes, first fight. That's a good. We should do like a little Zaza, a little celebrity death match. AI. I don't know if you're old enough like me. I'm gonna be 39 in May. To watch Celebrity Deathmatch. It was pretty brutal, but you got to think. How I kind of rationalized it in a sense was that. Are you going to let the child starve? Or are you going to let the cow live? Because most of these people it was just customer based. It wasn't like a large scale. It was just strictly customer based. So individual farmers and stuff. And you're feeding families and stuff. And with the price of everything these days, especially in the little area we live in, it was a necessity at that point, You can't really avoid people needing to be able to feed themselves and nourish themselves. So that's how I kind of weighed it out to an extent. It was done in a very respectful manner. It's not like we're just kicking the animals around and just being brutal about it. You got to take into account that you're taking a life. Paid animal serial killer. Did it desensitize you? No, it actually probably gave me like a greater appreciation for life than anything because it was very sad. And I don't shut my feelings off to things like that, so it kind of just allowed me to kind of grow as a person to an extent and have the compassion for these animals as well as the understanding that it's going to feed a family. So, no, it's still, I mean, heck, it still took a lot of courage to do, because like you want to make sure that this animal is dispatched humanely in a quick manner, so it was a lot of pressure, honestly, kind of every time. So it was like, you just want to make sure you did it right for everybody, the animal, the people, your employer, which the boss was cool, the owner of the company, and the dude who ran it was my cousin. He's older than me, so yeah, everyone was very respectful, and it wasn't done in like a weird manner. Very cleanly, very clean, and just a lot of understanding. I feed animals. Oh yeah, dude, I have freaking 7 cats total, 5 in the living room, and then 2 in the guest bedroom. They don't get along. And then there's 2 cats outside that I feed. If you go on my shorts, there's Bobby. He's the father of all these cats in here. I'll post some shorts of them later. I gotta clean my living room up. But yeah, 'tis life. I need to sign into my YouTube on the Leppy Tappy. Leppy Tappy. But yeah, where are you from, Mercedes Pharrell? I mean, you don't have to tell me this. You can tell me the city. I'm not gonna go, find it. But complete sign in. All my shorts involve me feeding different animals. Alright, I'm gonna try to get on my laptop so I can look your stuff up, bro. And then, yeah, my grandpa actually lives down in South Padre Island, Texas. My last name's Martinez, and he says he's from Texas, but I did the ancestor DNA thing. That man's from Nuevo Leon, Mexico. Lord, it's taking so long to try to get into my YouTube. There we go. Finally, Lord. Heck yeah, I got 56 subscribers now. I only had 53 earlier. What's good? Thank you guys. If Diddy offered you, would you go to his party? At what time? Like, give me like a time period and maybe like a circumstance before, like whatever the time was, 10 p.m. at night when all the weird shit happened and all the people, like yeah, to try to maybe network and get stuff going if there's not some like weird sadistic people and the circumstances are right. But no, I wouldn't want to go experience that. Nice, I'm originally from Houston, now in Austin. Oh yeah, dude, Austin's fire, dude. Have you gone to any of the, I know this is kind of like stereotypical, but have you gone to any of the comedy clubs or anything like that? Because I know that's like big in Austin now and stuff. And how is the weed down there as far as like leniency with cops? Because when I remember when I was younger, I haven't really looked into it as of late, but the weed laws were pretty stringent there. So this is what I get for not using my laptop ever. There it is. We all know that this wave of hunger is creeping on. It is all lies and deception. What is declared about the eye delivered there. Alright, Bear, I got you back on the sub. Hopefully you can start doing lives, playa. They just outlawed weed, but it's still in the hood. Well, I mean, I know it's still in the hood. I was just talking about the laws, because I'm from Chicago, so I don't like being out in the streets with weed. I'm in Virginia now, so it's legal, so I don't, everybody's on the up and up. Would you rather smoke a joint with Willie Nelson or a blunt with Snoop Dogg? Well, I only smoke bongs, and I don't just because somebody does something else, but I would. That's a good one. I'd probably want to kind of do half and half, like a half an hour with each of them or something, because I would like to tap into certain aspects of like their being in regards to like their experience and interaction. But it's kind of hard to for not to relate, but like they're around upper echelon people in certain circumstances. So for a lot of these people, it's harder to relate to the average person that's been existing for like 40 years like that. I did smoke one of those. That's fire. That's fire. That's actually believable too. It really is. No cap. That's fire. Who else subbed? I gotta go to that Braden dude. Give me a sec, guys. I won't be able to see any of the. Wellnick Studio. Yeah, let's see. Who's the. Where's that Braden? Braxton.
All these people cannot yet be in a party together, but wherever one goes in Germany, indeed almost in the whole world, there are already millions of thinkers who know that a state can only be built on a social basis. And secondly, that
oh shit, I'm not even typing anything, and I'm over here thinking I'm typing.
Is the international Jew. Every truly national thought is ultimately social. That is, whoever is ready to stand up for his people so completely that he really knows no higher ideal than the welfare of this people. Whoever has grasped the meaning of our great song, Germany, Germany above all, in such a way that nothing in this world is higher to him than this Germany, people and country, country and people. He is a socialist, and he who sympathizes with the poorest of this people's citizens, who sees in each individual a valuable member of the whole, and who recognizes that the whole can only flourish when it is not composed of rulers.
Something, but I would solo smoke. Yeah, for sure. Do you believe Griffith did nothing wrong? Griffith? Let me Google that. Griffith. What are we? Griffith. Who the fuck is Griffith?
Above all, stands up to ensure that our most precious asset, our youth, is not prematurely used up in unhealthy, harmful work. He is not only a socialist, but a nationalist in the highest sense of the word. But it is the teaching of this insight which appears as the most threatening danger to Jewry as the leadership of today's revolution.
I don't know who the.
And it is precisely this danger that pushes him to strike as quickly as possible.
What's the. Did you believe Griffith did nothing wrong? Can you give me a little more context so I can look that up? I don't know what. Who's Griffith? I just put Griffith accusations and it didn't really give me anything specific. Griffith.
They are so simple-mindedly stupid.
Who the heck's Griffith, brother?
The saying that he whom the
Oh yeah, Zaza, I'll hit you back with the sub, brother.
they are struck blind, and so the gods must want to destroy them. Yes, just look at these parties and their leaders, Stresemann and whoever else. They are truly harmless. They do not
Did I
grasp the
type
root of the
something wrong?
problem. They all still believe that they can fight a battle, which is a battle like none other in this world, through leniency, humanity, and compliance. Through leniency, they believe they can show the opponent on the left that they are willing to compromise in order to stop the deadly cancer somewhere in the middle. No, and 1,000 times no. There are only two possibilities: victory or defeat. We know.
Oh, me? What am I watching? I am watching a. I don't know if I want to tell you, brother. It's a Hitler AI translated speech about what he was doing. No. That's the weird mustache man trying to get like an insight in what he was doing. Hence your handle. That just means my contention. That's not really. I mean, a little bit, but not really. If you really listen to what he was saying, he doesn't even really. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of weird facts when it comes to all that stuff, and then. Yeah. I'm not like some neo-Nazi or some shit like that, but you just gotta do research. I want to know what the Griffith accusation that the dude did Griffith do something. I don't know what. And I can't even find homie's flipping channel, so I don't know what to do. Whatever everybody else, okay, I used to watch documentaries. Yeah, that's just also from the History Channel's perspective. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff. When I used to, information is hard to discern and decipher for some people. I'm not saying you at all, but it's just, yeah, it's not. I just try to take all different aspects of situations and formulate my own opinion. I mean, there's Red Cross documentation stating that there was only 271 deaths in all of World War II, and that accounts for other races as well. So it's just, yeah. It's a thing. Try to tell my lady that all the time, and she just thinks, oh, that going to the doctor's the way, oh, blah, 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 this and that, root canal. I'm like, bruh, have them shits yanked. Do not go to the fucking dentist and get a root canal. You will have dying, dead teeth in you, and one of the leading causes of death in the United States is heart and liver disease, and the leading cause of heart and liver disease is tooth and gum decay. There's just a lot of stuff, like you can heal your teeth with the capacitors from an ultrasound machine. There's a video when I had a Facebook, you could look it up, of back when I had a Facebook, there's a video you could look up on Facebook and just look up ultrasound healing teeth, and there was a they called me a Holocaust denier back in 2000. Yeah, well, if you think about it, Zuckerberg, is one of those individuals. And see, here's the thing: it's not every person that happens to be the J. Is that it's more of Zionism than anything. Griffith is a bad motherfucker from Berserker anime. No, dude, I wish, bro. The only any anime type stuff I'd ever watch is like back in the day it was like Full Metal Alchemist. I mean, I want Dragon Ball Z is more of a cartoon, but yes, animated as well. I don't know if you've seen Inuyasha. I mean, I'm sure there's a laundry list of a couple other ones that I can't think of offhand that I've watched, but it's been a hot minute since I've watched cartoons. I used to love watching cartoons all the time, but I'm just more of like knowledge maxing for the past 20 years, knowledge maxing. I'm 30, you'll be 39 in May, so chill. What's cracking those? This is Za. Where you from, bro, Sif? I like to forget about it if I have to watch a cartoon. That's what it's gonna be. I like to forget about it if I have to watch a cartoon. That's what it's. Yeah, I feel that. Forget about it, LOL. That's some straight up Northern East Coast behavior.
But what Germany needs and longs for today is a symbol of power and strength. So,
well, yeah.
at the end of my speech, I have to make a
you guys want to cash at me and buy a painting or what? Uh-huh.
We would rather train them physically, because I'll tell you this, the boy who does not
Bam. I should like put my cash app in the background. Is that acrylic? Yeah, all my most average are. So here, I got you.
He is not a German boy. I call upon you. Join our storm division.
There you
No
go.
matter
Got you,
what
brother.
mentality you hear about them, you will know that they are formed for our protection, for your protection.
I haven't done it in a while. This is the most recent one I did for my buddy. He wanted some black and red. It's the most recent one I did. They're kind of like colored Rorschach tests. But yeah, here's the whole wall. I'm actually a sister. I don't know what that means. But yeah, that's Oh,
revolutionarily transformed Germany.
I call everybody bro and dude. Doesn't matter of gender. I'm not one of the trans blah 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 people, but yeah, I call everybody. I'm like brother. It's just more of a
German republic.
call chicks dude and
Every battle
yeah.
must be fought to the end.
So
Better that it comes sooner rather than
just
later.
standard procedure.
The one who goes into
Millennial. I'm fucking 39, brother.
facade stands the most secure, and this
Hell, back in Chicago, like
whoever is the leader of the German people
the homies would call each other girl just to be like, "What up, girl?" Just to like upset, try to like upset each other because you gotta make sure your boys are battle hardened when they go out in public, so nothing phases them and they don't get themselves into a situation that they get hurt or endanger themselves or anyone around. You gotta toughen the homies up, so Also, if I'm Darth Vader, I gotta make sure everyone's ready. Someone's gonna have to be ready to take over once I'm done ruling. Millennial, LOL. That's such a good one. I mean, it's not factually inaccurate, but we're at a lot. Yeah, my own entity, brother. Not quite Generation X, but you get a pass. Hey man, I relate to everybody, so I get a pass just because that I can relate from kids to old people, everything, because that's what I was at one point, a child. And that's what most people are, is like dudes are just like unhealed and they've just are hurt inside in their inner child. Like this is like my armor that protects that inside, I'm never gonna let that shit fucking I'm never gonna let my inner child die. That's like the Saturday morning cartoons. That's like that fresh air. That's that like sense of freedom when you're riding on your bicycle and there's just no worries as a kid. Like that type of shit ain't leaving me, and that's what you try to like spark in others to reinvigorate that and kind of reinvoke that. So chill, brother. Let's see. There was another one on here that I liked too, I think. I can't remember. Shoot. I like that you have something. What do you mean? Is that what most people do on here? Are the paintings? I'm actually gonna try to like establish shit so individuals can really contribute to something of value and not like try to fucking. I would love to be able to be like, yeah, bro, nice Ferrari or Lamborghini, but you could help sustain 10 of your friends for the rest of your life and have an example of how to do so, not just be blowing smoke up people's asses. Actually have shits. Like, I'll get some spare change to support you. Bro, you're good. You don't gotta do nothing like that. Hell, I'm broke as shit. My girl's broke as shit right now. We're all in the same boat. So, oh, Corisha. But yeah, and what I would love to do is once like the platform blows up, be able to sell the. I don't really want to get rid of them because I love my paintings so much, but I would definitely sell them. And this one right here, I have copyright from the U.S. copyright. I got the documentation outside. To be able to make into like a print for clothing. So that's what I'm also going to do to be able to like support the cause. And I just worked out an old folks home. So what I'd like to do is donate clothing to them as well. So yeah, so like motherfuckers can have free clothing. Because when I was there, I probably donated 30 something shirts. I mean, hell, some of them had tags on them and shit. It put me out of like having clothes. I probably got like 12 shirts now, 13 shirts max, and like 5 pairs of pants. I've done like 5 or 7 pairs of shorts and pants, and just assorted different shit because none of those motherfuckers have shit. Yeah, fire, dude. Yeah, so's my girl. She does in-home health for a dude with dementia and shit. She fucking helps that man pretty hard. So that's what she's actually doing right now. She's at work till noon tomorrow. Yep, gang gang. What yeah, we need to blow this shit up. So share this shit anywhere you can. Tell everybody else. Because literally, if 10 people tell 10 people, that's 100 people right there, and those 100 people tell 10 people, that's 1,000. So the word of mouth spreads pretty quickly when it comes to stuff like this. And since I'm just starting this, hopefully the endeavor takes off from there. Have you ever had an art? Dude, I've never. No one even knows I do this stuff really. Like other than my like family and friends, like no one really knows I do this shit at all. This is just like my own little. I don't know. I don't know how to really do any of that. So that's fire, dude. Yeah, show them my stuff. Cause I also do hand painting as well. I don't have any left. I've already just given them away to people, and but yeah, I do a lot of. I can do art, poetry, uh, a multitude of things. Really good at cooking, expressing myself in general. Yeah, dude, that'd be fire. Yeah, I would love that. I would definitely give you percentages of stuff, or like, um, yeah, you would get definitely a huge commission off of the something if like that ever happened. That'd be so sick. Do you have a dude? This is all I got right now. That's all I'm trying to. This is my advertisement. What you're watching. I don't even have any really good. I mean, I have a couple good pictures, but I don't even have any pictures of this stuff. I really enjoy doing it. I can pump a lot out too, but you can really only get like maybe 1 to 2 out of me a day because you gotta make sure the paint's the right viscosity so when it's drying it doesn't bubble up in the layers, and I gotta like watch it throughout the day and like make sure I manage the anything bubbling up by releasing the air and stuff like that. So it's a process. Thank you, I appreciate it. It's fun to do. I really enjoy it. Fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's not stressful, but it definitely like it takes a different type of focus to be able to make sure because it's like uniform chaos to an extent, but it's like a colored Rorschach test. Like everyone sees their own shit in it. Stuff. I don't know. It's their own stuff. I don't know if I'm supposed to be swearing on the internet. Man, I hate these security things. I can't get this thing off my computer. Does your friend in Houston have a gallery? Maybe you could tell him about it. I'll fucking send him an email in the future or something reaching out. Are they all the same size? These ones are, yeah, they're all, I think they're 16 by 24. But I can do various size canvases and have as well. But this is kind of like the standard thing. I really I mean, I really haven't done any in a hot minute. Check out the website. Yes, Deborah Colton Gallery. Deborah Colton Gallery. Oh, nice. Hold on. I mean, my. Oh, that's. Oh, dude, she's got like sick stuff. Yeah, I, I don't know if mine's that sick, but it's cool stuff. It's so difficult for me to even try to like do something like that because I feel like my stuff's such a novelty compared to what some of these people view as art, you know. But it is very thought provoking, and it does. It is. This is a really nice gallery, yeah. Yeah, tell her to try to blow me up. See, I'm very like I don't need when I say need much, like I want everybody to be able to make sure they're feeling like getting something off it. Well, you would be the surprised. I appreciate it.
A crisis that utterly weakens him. But in spite of all, it is all the more our
I just don't,
to shrink from
I don't know.
entering this battle for the salvation of our people.
What up? Whoever else is in here, say what up. We're just talking about the art, the art in here.
God the Almighty has made our nation by defending its existence.
Yeah, that would be so sick to be able to do something like that. I mean, honestly, you have no idea
Suffering and hardships make
how much that would make me feel accomplished as an individual. I mean, I'm not really worried about prices, just for someone to acknowledge the fact that, you know, what you're doing for fun as an expression has relevance to their visual, you know, appeal.
but also our duty toward those few infamous ones who turned their backs on their people. In this fateful battle, there is
Low key,
therefore
what time is
one
it?
command.
12 a.m.
He
Nah,
who
it's
fights
not that early.
honorably can thus save his own life and the lives of his loved ones. But he who, because of cowardice or lack of character, turns his back on the nation shall inexorably die.
Why
And he
does this
continues
thing
dead.
never leave my
That
screen? I hate it.
national socialism succeeded in awakening and strengthening this spirit in our German people is a great achievement.
I'll talk to her. I'll be
Only
in
when this
Houston
mighty
next week.
world
Heck yeah. Woo, 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 woo. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're in Austin. That's right.
will realization come
What is that, like a 2 or 3 hour trip?
its spiritual renaissance. No less than its existence in this world.
H-Town.
Only a few months and weeks ago, Allied states
I don't know if we flew into Houston.
thereupon they
I know we flew into San Antonio to go down to South Padre.
promised something
I'll talk to her. 3 hours? Yeah, for sure.
as an inexorable national socialist and a fighter for my people. I now wish
I've been to Texas twice. Houston sucks. Yeah, I don't really know too much. I'm sure. I mean, honestly, a lot of major cities suck because that's not really how we're supposed to be living, you know? I mean, I understand the ease of access to stuff and entertainment, but you'd be way more self-sufficient if everybody was contributing, and there'd be a whole lot less waste if there was a community aspect to things. So, yeah, I mean, it's same here from Chicago. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd like to go back and visit, but I have, but it's just not. I just don't. I don't like the congestion. I don't like people stacked on top of each other. Like, we're supposed to be spread out, and we're supposed to be living amongst the land. Oh, nice. Yeah, dude. Chicago is definitely good. I mean, it's not as bad as people say it is. It's yes and no. But it is. It's different. For some people, it's a shell shock. To me, where I grew up in it, and it was like 45 minutes from downtown, out in the suburbs, which not like the white picket fences. Growing up until I got kicked out of my crib in high school, it was pretty decent area, but you were able to get into anything anywhere. But Chicago's fire. The food's delicious. The people are awesome. Uh, it's a fun place to grow up. That's for sure. Be able to hit the train and be downtown. Yeah, the shell shock. Yeah, for sure. My college roommate was from Winnetka. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's different. I could see how it's a lot overwhelming. Shit, I lived downtown for 3.5, 4 years, and it was fun, man. Me and my buddy he lived downtown too, that I knew from out in the burbs, and he'd been out there for more than me, so he knew more about it than me, and it was fun. Winnetka. Winnetka. Lord, this thing is blocking the crap out of my screen. Well, brother, it was nice meeting you, talking to you. I'm about to hit the sack. Later, brother. Like, share, subscribe, tell people about it. I said to you, and hopefully. Yeah, holla. It'd be fire, bro. Get some gallery shit going. For real, for real. Gracias. I sub back to player. Gang, gang.
On July 20th, and thus to terminate my life's work. That the Almighty protected me on that day, I consider a renewed affirmation of the task entrusted to me. In the years to come, I shall continue on this road, uncompromisingly safeguarding my people's interests of for itself all the leading positions in the land and to oust it. For it is our will to educate our own nation for these leading positions. We have hundreds of thousands of very intelligent children of peasants and of the working classes. We shall have them educated. In fact, we have already begun, and we wish that one day they, and not the representatives of an alien race, may hold the leading positions in the state together with our educated classes. Above all, German culture, as its name alone shows, is German. Therefore, its management and care will be entrusted to members of our own nation. If the rest of the world cries out with a hypocritical mien against this barbaric expulsion from Germany of such an irreplaceable and culturally eminently valuable element, we can only be astonished at the conclusions they draw from this situation. But how thankful they must be that we are releasing these precious apostles of culture and placing them at the disposal of the rest of the world. In accordance with their own declarations, they can't find a single reason to excuse themselves for refusing to receive this most valuable race in their own countries, nor can I see a reason why the members of this race should be imposed upon the German nation, while in the states, which are so enthusiastic about these splendid people, their settlement should suddenly be refused with every imaginable excuse. I think that the sooner this problem is solved, the better, for Europe cannot settle down until the Jewish question is cleared up. It may very well be possible that sooner or later an agreement on this problem may be reached in Europe, even between those nations which otherwise do not so easily come together. The world has sufficient space for settlements, but we must once and for all get rid of the opinion that the Jewish race was only created by God for the purpose of being in a certain percentage a parasite living on the body and the productive work of other nations. The Jewish race will have to adapt itself to sound constructive activity as other nations do, or sooner or later it will succumb to a crisis of an inconceivable magnitude. One thing I should like to say on this day, which may be memorable for others as well as for us Germans, in the course of my life, I have very often been a prophet and have usually been ridiculed for it. During the time of my struggle for power, it was in the first instance the Jewish race which only received my prophecies with laughter when I said that I would one day take over the leadership of the state, and with it that of the whole nation, and that I would then, among many other things, settle the Jewish problem. Their laughter was uproarious, but I think that for some time now they've been laughing on the other side of their face. Today I will once more be a prophet. If the international Jewish financiers in and outside Europe should succeed in plunging the nations once more into a world war, then the result will not be the Bolshevization of the earth and thus the victory of Jewry, but the annihilation of the Jewish race in Europe. The nations are no longer willing to die on the battlefield so that this unstable international race may profiteer from a war or satisfy its Old Testament vengeance.
I've been a combat pilot, a lifelong Republican, and conservative congressman. But first, I'm an American. So when President Trump told MAGA politicians to redraw congressional lines to rig the midterm elections, well, that was a line too far for me. Now Virginia needs to stand up and vote yes for fair elections, to level the playing field and stop the power grab. Whether you're a Democrat, independent, or a Republican like me, you need to protect democracy. Vote yes.
The long-standing rivalry had never been more fierce. There simply were not enough supports for both armies. Each wanted to be the one to defeat the Germans. Each wanted to beat the other to Berlin. In September 1944, Montgomery devised the new but spectacular plan given the Cold War, Market Garden. Eisenhower, under great pressure from his superiors, finally sided with Montgomery, and Operation Market Garden became a reality. The plan, like so many plans in so many wars before it, was meant to end the fighting by Christmas and bring the boys back home.
Ja, dann für mich ein, so wie ich für dich Dear fellow Germans, a sudden commotion has come over the German people. Now even those circles are beginning to stir, which until now have been deaf to the constant warnings that we have been trying to address to the mass of our people, almost without interruption, for the past 3 years. Of course, many people still do not know why they are upset. They believe that perhaps it is only about so-called special privileges, or about the restriction of freedom of speech, or about the politicization of the civil service, and so on. Certainly, all these are extremely serious matters. Today, however, it is about much more. It is about a huge process of destruction demarcated than all others, which always formed and will always form a state within the state. Perhaps not all at once, but it went just as it does today, and as it always has gone. First a little finger, then a second and a third, and so bit by bit, until at last the people were still in the 18th century completely
What up? What you up to?
possess politically the same rights to citizenship as ourselves. And
What up? What you up to?
economically as well. The mass industrialization of the people meant the crowd
Like, share, and subscribe. Throw some words down there so we can start up a conversation. I'm open to talk about anything at any time. What do you got? I'm not reading tarot cards. That's for damn sure. This is all my art.
The share system came into being, and as a result, the stock exchange gradually became the conductor of the entire national economy. But the owners of this institution were, and are without exception, Jews. I say without exception because the few more than who participate in it as non-Jews are in the end nothing more than token Christians who are needed to keep up the pretense to the broad masses that these institutions are natural to all peoples and their economies, while in reality they are institutions which correspond exclusively to the essence of the Jewish people and thus also spring from it. At that time, Europe stood at a crossroads. It began to divide into two halves, Western Europe on the one hand and Central and Eastern Europe on the other. Western Europe first advanced in industrialization, especially in England. Crowds of agricultural laborers, sons of farmers, or ruined farmers themselves, poured into the cities and formed a new fourth estate. But there is one important fact here which many fail to take into account. England, like France, had relatively few Jews. The consequence of this, however, is that the great masses concentrated in the cities did not come into direct contact with this foreign nation, and the aversion which would necessarily arise did not find sufficient nourishment. Finally, the Jews of England, who at that time numbered scarcely 50 to 60,000, were able to Europeanize themselves with playful ease to such an extent that they remained hidden from the primitive eye of the common man, and he could not notice them as pillars of the economy, but especially as the bearers of great capital. They no longer appeared as foreigners, but as Englishmen themselves. This prevented anti-Semitism from gaining fundamental power in these countries. The same was true of France. Precisely because of this, however, it was possible to introduce in these countries the system known as democracy. Precisely in these countries, it was possible to establish a form of government that could mean nothing but the outweighing of intelligence and true energy by the sheer dead weight of the masses. In other words, it was possible there for the small class of Jewish intelligentsia hidden in the British people to manipulate the broad masses with playful ease in such a way that the latter, unaware of whom they were obeying, served the purposes of this small class. There, with press propaganda and control of information, it was possible to found the prototypical large parties. Even back then, there were always two or three groups that appeared to be fighting against each other, but in reality were all hanging on a cold thread, and everything was adjusted to a peculiar human characteristic. That man gets tired of something he has had for a long time. He wants something new. And so, two parties were needed. One of them rules, and the other one forms the opposition. When one party is played out, the opposition party comes to power, and the played out party now takes its turn as the opposition. After 20 years, the new party becomes played out, and the game repeats itself anew. In reality, this is certainly an ingenious mill in which the interests of a nation are ground down. As is well known, such a thing is called self-government of a people. In the process, we always find two main buzzwords, freedom and democracy, as figureheads. Freedom is understood to mean, at least among the authoritative bodies that actually govern, the possibility of plundering the broad masses the necessity and expediency of a change in this condition. This change will also occur there in the foreseeable future. Now, what is the difference between this Western Europe on the one hand and Eastern and Central Europe on the other? Here, industrialization did not happen as quickly. The masses streamed more slowly from the static countryside into the cities. Only slowly did the large cities develop here, and it took a long time for a fourth estate to form in Germany as well. In addition to this, there was the fact that both in the East and in Germany, the presence of the Jew was constantly felt by the broad masses because of his greater numbers, so that the whole people had an inner instinctive aversion to him among all classes, but most of all the peasant, the worker, and the honest petty bourgeois. On the other hand, a part of our own aristocracy and a certain circle of merchants to whom money and gold are everything were the most quickly corrupted. If political contamination was already more difficult because of the large number of Jews and the consequent aversion of the mass of our people, the difficulty was increased by a form of government which did not place ultimate authority in the hands of a weak-willed and irresponsible so-called majority, but which was traditionally anchored in a personal apex, the monarchy. At that time, the Jew had to admit to himself that in these countries, the resurrection of an enlightened despotism would by no means be impossible.